Good morning, ladies and gents. I know it's rather early this morning, and I hope you all had a wonderful bank holiday weekend. It's September already, that's pretty nuts. Time flies when you're in the pandemic. Anyway, this live is about why failing is a good thing. A lot of people will say, like, what do you mean failing's a good thing? You know, no one wants to fail. But that's exactly it. No one wants to fail, so no one's willing to go out of their comfort zone to fail. And there's this whole thing, and it's this huge fear which directly relates to our mental health, that when you do fail, that you will be judged for being seen as a failure, as someone who's incompetent, as someone who isn't good at what they do. And this whole fear of not only how you're going to be perceived by the people, but also how you're going to perceive yourself and how that's going to have an adverse effect on your mental health is why failing is seen as such a bad thing. Because if you think in your head that you're not willing to try something because if it doesn't work out, that's going to reiterate, how you already perceive yourself. If you perceive yourself as someone who's not good at something and you try it and it doesn't work out, and most of the time, the first time you do try it, it won't, because we're all crap at the start. That's just life. And if you do try it and it doesn't work out, then you're just reiterating in your own head, you're like, I was right in the first place, I'm not good at that, so you're not likely to try it again. But there's a difference between failing and a failure. And it's quite a key difference to understand, because failing is when you try something, but you've actually given it a go and it hasn't worked out, but you learn from it and you step out of your comfort zone and you made a great step in actually giving it a go. Whereas failure is actually someone who just doesn't try at all and laughs and judges other people for giving it a go, but not actually having the courage to do it themselves. The ones who fail in life, their failings, the more times they fail, the more they're actually closer to the path they want to be on. Because if you think about it, no path with our mental health, with our business, with our relationships is just from bad all the way to good. There's no linear line. It's just like so up and down all over the place. So when you do fail, but you get back up and you go again, you give it a go again, you're still each time one step closer to where you want to be, because you've learned what hasn't worked and you can take that forward next time knowing that doesn't work, that hasn't worked, so I won't do it again. And you can take that forward with you, and the more times you fail, the more you can mould into what doesn't work and mould it into what does work. That's why, experience is such a big thing in certain things, in terms of you have experience doesn't necessarily mean you're necessarily kind of more natural at the job. It just means, you have been there before and you've got more savvy nous about what goes on in your business or whatever situation you might be in, our relationships or whatever. And a failure is someone who just will not try at all. So they will never ever get to that place they want to be, because they don't even attempt to try and make a path for themselves. So next, before you kind of are fearful of potentially failing at something, think actually, you're being one of the courageous ones, taking that step forward and actually pushing forward. Because all the most successful people in life, they've failed far more times than the non-successful people, but they were willing to stick at it and learn from those experiences and not be put down by them. Yes, they would have been judged, but they can live with that judgment, knowing that once they get to where they want to be, that they can look back and think, first you ask me why, then you ask me how, sort of thing. So that's really important to understand. And if we do fail, what does it actually mean? It doesn't actually matter if we do fail. So with your mental health, if you go to, say, your first counselling session, your therapy, you pluck up huge courage to go and see a therapist, and you don't get on necessarily with the first therapist, you don't click. And that does happen. That happened with me. That does happen. You're not going to get on with everyone. You're not going to click with everyone. You're not going to have that relationship with everyone. It doesn't matter if you don't find your therapist in the first go. That's still you one step closer to finding the right therapist for you. We're so quick to tarnish everything under the same brush, thinking, right, therapy's not going to work for me, I'm not going to do it, just by that one therapist out of all the therapists out there. Like, if you were ill, go to the doctors, and the doctor diagnose you, would you write off all doctors, be like, right, not going to go to the doctors again. You want to sort your health out. You want to go and see someone else, get a proper diagnostic on it. So we are so quick to tarnish people on the same brush. But failing, in terms of not finding the right therapist, you stepped up the courage, and that shows you actually plucked up the courage to go out your comfort zone and seek out therapy in the first place. And you're one step closer to getting on that journey to making yourself happier within your mental health, because you're one step closer to finding the right therapist for you. And all this can translate into all walks of our life, but it's so important to understand that failing is a good thing, in the sense that it's us going out of our comfort zone, it's us still pushing forward in the right direction, and it's us showing a lot more courage, far more courage than many people out there who will not want to fail in the first place, because that gets them nowhere. At least failing always gets you somewhere. It might not get you where you want to be initially, but it always gets you somewhere, and that's always somewhere in the right direction. Once we have this outlook on failing, we're far less likely, we want to fail more, because we want to think, right, failing more means I'm learning more, means I'm pushing forward more. And once we have this outlook on failing, then it becomes a really strong and powerful tool to help us get to where we want to be in our paths. So, ladies and gents, I hope that's provided a little bit of a perspective shift on failing, and how it's actually not a bad thing at all, and how it is a good thing. And if you have the right outlook on it, you can push forward in the right direction every single time. Failing maybe feels like short-term setback, but it's long-term progress. Ladies and gents, I hope that helps. Hope you yet again had a wonderful bank holiday weekend, and I will chat to you on Friday about training and nutrition. So, ladies and gents, adios, and have a wonderful rest of your day.